Hi everyone. For all those you that are interested in the 8, this is called the Challenger, and they are part of the body triad, the instinctive triad, and their issue, all 3 of them, have to deal with anger. So, 8s are these typical leaders. They are kind of visceral people. They step into a room, you can kind of feel their energy. Mr. Seahaver is a really good example, a very nice example of an 8. And when you come in, you just know he's in the room. They fill a space with energy. And they're really they know what to do. They instinctively know. They act quickly. They're problem solvers, decisive, and follow their gut. And they take on responsibility. And even though they're very, very strong and sometimes can be perceived as arrogant, usually they're not. It's just that they can get the job done. And they realize out of anybody's gonna, if anybody's gonna get the job done, it's gonna be them. And they're gonna do it because it needs to be done. So of all the types in the Enneagram, they're the straight shooters. They're candid, they'll tell you what they think, they'll look you in the eye, and here it comes. It's not gonna be sugar-coated. Doesn't mean it's going to be mean, but it's just they're going to tell you the truth. Now 5s also tell the truth, but it's couched and they're more careful and they're more reserved. 8s just kind of come out and tell you what they really, the way they see it. And usually they're right on target. Now, the shadow side for the 8s, and this has proved true with so many HKS 8s that I've known, is that they have a great fear of vulnerability. So this very strong exterior they have kind of covers the fear of someone actually finding out that they have a big heart inside. Okay? They can therefore be intimidating and sometimes come off as insensitive. Here's always my test to find out if you are an 8. Okay, it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. You need one person to shoot the ball for the last time to go for the win. Do you want the ball? All the other types, they don't want the ball. They don't want the responsibility. The 8s will say, I'll do it. And it's not out of arrogance, it's because they can do it. So the Michael Jordans of the world, this is give me the ball. Barack Obama, I think, fits into this too. It's I want to be president. I want to do it. I think Donald Trump does too. So surgeons are also oftentimes 8. I had a young lady that was in my SSS class a couple of years ago. Yeah, she wanted to be a brain surgeon. Who wants to be a brain surgeon? That's too much responsibility. She said, I want to be a brain surgeon. I can do it. So these are very clear signs that you may be an 8. All right, so So I just want to say the integration energy goes between 8s and 2s. So in order for an 8 to really be complete, they have to find their hearts and they have to become more like 2s. So let me just give you an example of an 8. Now, this is a random Indian kid off the internet. Sorry, that's not an HKS kid. But the kid I'm going to talk about, I don't think he wanted to be named, but he was a senior recently. And what his experience was, he was like this, give me the ball, or he was just very decisive, but he really had a deep fear of his emotions, to the point where he really didn't even want to admit that he had emotions. So he decided to challenge himself. He decided to write a journal every night where he just talked about his emotions. But he didn't want anybody to know about it. He didn't want anybody to read it. But it was a huge step for him to even admit to himself that he had emotions. And he talked about this later, how it was really a very deeply transformative experience for him, because he's strong, he's clear, he was very, very successful in everything that he did, but he didn't let anybody inside. And so he first had to let himself inside. So what are typical practices for 8s? I always suggest a loving kindness meditation to help open the heart. It's about dealing with their vulnerabilities. You see this exact idea of journaling about vulnerabilities. Doing some type of visualization in which you imagine the 8s having a caged heart, but then opening to emotions. That could be another thing. 8s have all this excessive physical energy, so yoga or other physical practices are really encouraged. And finally, I'd say, eights tend to breathe from up here because they're just really open to expressing themselves. For them, it's actually good to do deep belly breathing, okay, to help them, because what this will do is calm their energy, especially if you can make the exhale longer than the inhale. That turns on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is like, oh, it's okay to relax, and you'll relax the people around you. Okay, so yeah, these are some practices that can help you if you're an 8. So good luck, 8s.